Hello and welcome back to the Brick City. I hope you're all having an absolutely amazing day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope it is absolutely incredible. I know that I'm having a good day. I've done quite a few jobs today. I've cleaned the cars, we've got loads of uni work done, and now I thought, you know what, let's jump on, do a little video for tomorrow, and then we are going to go back to doing uni work, unfortunately, but you know, it has to be done. And you know, we're finally getting some progress with uni, which is good, and you know, we're nearly there, so let's just push through to these to the very end of it, and we are going to be done. Now, today, what I want to talk about is Lego investing, and I'm not an expert on investing in Lego. I don't do it I don't do it to a mad extent. Like, some people go out there and they will buy, kind of like these big sets down here, and they will buy them and not open them. We open them, we put them in the Lego City, we display them. I like them to be seen. And yeah, I just want to kind of go over a few bits, like what I actually do, what I would recommend if you're wanting to get into Lego investing, and kind of where's the best places to find bits. Is it worth it, is it not worth it, and there are a few things that I'm going to talk about. So firstly, is it worth it? Yes and no. I mean, this is like, it's each to their own to kind of find out whether it is going to be worth it or not. Personally, for me, it's not, and that's purely because I don't invest into it all the time. I just invest little bits here and now, and my portfolio of invested bits just sits inside this little box here, which doesn't get touched actually, but I have pulled a few sets out of here that I want to kind of show you, and just to highlight that, they do make a bit of profit, but also, you kind of need to know what you'd be looking at, and I don't do that to the fullest extent. Like, I would say you need to kind of be looking into certain areas and kind of know what you're looking at, or know what you want to be investing into, and kind of look at how many sell, and assets in that range normally worth investing in, such as Star Wars. And just because that's purely a big fan media one, normally it is quite a good one to invest into. So a few of my sets that we do pick up are, of course, Star Wars sets, and they normally go up in value. Another one that I like to keep in order to sell on in the future is promo sets. Some sets I build just because I think they'll go in the city, but a lot of them I do hold on to just because promo sets normally do go up in value, and you know what, you're getting them for free anyway, so you might as well keep them to kind of invest in and keep them for the future. Again though, like I say, you need to know what you're talking about and need to know what you're looking at. Another point to this is the money that you have to invest into it. If you really want to make profit margins on certain things and stuff, you really need to invest quite a deal of money into these things. An example would be this set here. Now, I actually bought this set on discount, and we bought it for £8, I believe. And this was when they were still circulating before they retired. I've had it for about 2 years now, and it's only about £2 more. And, again, I think that's purely because of the figures in it, and that it is a battle pack at the end of the day. Sometimes the battle packs don't reach for that much, and that's my own fault for picking that up, but you know what, it's still worth more now than it was when we did pick it up originally. The only problem would be is shipping costs and stuff like that, but again, you need to know what you're looking at, and the money is going to be a very, very big side of these things. Whereas if you picked up the Avengers Tower, what was it, £500, and if you kept it, and there's a likelihood that that would go up in value by a significant amount, just because of the kind of unique minifigures and the quantity and the size of the set, and the fact that it's the biggest Marvel set that has ever been created. And there's different selling points that make things worth it or not worth it in certain senses, and that's always hard to kind of pull out, and when making decisions of whether you should get something or whether you shouldn't get something. And again, it's hard for us to know what's going to happen. What I would suggest doing is kind of a bit of research yourself if this is something that you want to get into. I would highly recommend using Bricklink. Now, Bricklink is a website and it's owned by Lego, and there is features on there that can tell you the prices of Lego sets secondhand in boxes, or secondhand without the boxes, or just the instructions, or whatever you have. Any single piece you have, that website will tell you the general prices of what they're selling for. And a lot of people that deal with bigger projects, bigger sets and stuff like that, they are always on Bricklink, using Bricklink to kind of figure out prices. So if you don't kind of know the prices of things, or if you see a discounted item in the shop and think maybe that's one for me to pick up, use Bricklink, check Bricklink, and you'll be able to see like the value of things. And again, I'm not too sure if there's any websites that tell you when sets retire or if they've retired. I don't know if that's just got to be like general knowledge, and that would be something that you'd have to kind of keep in mind, like learning a bit about the Lego sets and whether, you know, they are retired or when they're going to retire and stuff like that. That all the kind of knowledge like that can really, really help you. Another thing to be recognized as well would be if there's TV series is out. So a big one at the moment, and we don't actually have it, but was one of the minifigures from the Mandalorian series. It's started in a set worth £25, and now the minifigure alone sells for £30, roughly. So the kind of value of that is now bigger than the actual set itself, and it's crazy to think that just because of certain TV series that these sets go to incredible prices. And the same can be said for The Simpsons or Toy Story and other such sets that, you know, they now don't create but have gone up drastically in value. Now, supply and demand as well is a big feature to Lego investing, and because there is such a big supply and demand for Lego, it means that, you know, the kind of value for certain sets are going to go up in value, and it is a bit of a no-brainer. But one thing to add would be that just because there are these sets out there and there is a demand for these sets, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go up in value. They have to have something about them that would make them go up in value. Like, to say a Lego City set that has a generic minifigure that is similar to every other minifigure isn't necessarily going to go up in price just because there's not that many out there. You know, you can build these up using other sets, and that's generally what people do. And a lot of people do use websites to build up buildings that they have that, you know, sets have. I don't know what I'm saying here. They use the websites to order parts to build sets rather than pay the full prices for these ridiculously priced sets. And, you know, just because there is the demand for them, it doesn't mean that it is necessarily going to go up in value. Now, another thing to add to that as well would be that since COVID, and I'm not too sure why, and well, moving forward into the future, Lego seem to be producing a lot more kind of adult Lego sets, and that is a bit of a tricky ball field, because the problem with this is that because loads of people are going out and spending the money on these sets, it means that they're going to be out there and they're not going to necessarily be sold as much. And yeah, it's a very tricky ball field. I mean, unfortunately, I can't give you like every single bit of information on these sets, because myself personally, I don't know every single information about the Lego. I'm like, I love Lego myself, but I'm no expert on it, and it is a really, really tricky ball field to kind of get your way around. But if you do the research and you kind of know what you're looking at, then it would be worth maybe getting into. But again, that is for you to decide and for you to kind of check in and look at. So something that I have realised is that the most value comes with Lego sets when they are in a sealed box, when there is no damage to the box, and when it has not been opened. As you can see here, this set has not yet been opened, and the most value normally comes from that, and that's just because people know exactly what's going to be in the box. They know that it's going to be sealed. They know that every single part's going to be there. Like, some sets they produce will have a one-of-a-kind piece or a one-of-a-kind character, and if you're searching through bins and stuff and you can't find these parts, then, you know, you're missing out, and then you're gonna have to pay even more money to kind of get this part, and maybe you're not going to make money on it. So again, it's very tricky, but I would say look at sealed boxes, look at sets that you think are going to go up in value, and sets that people kind of recommend go up in value. Normally for me it's Star Wars or specialized sets. Promo sets are amazing, and minifigure series as well, they normally go up quite a bit in value. My number one for investing is Star Wars, so we have pulled quite a few different, that's the right side of the box, we do normally pull quite a few different Star Wars ones out. We pull the promo ones out, and we also pull quite a few polybags as well, such as DC ones and the Santa Claus ones that maybe aren't going to be too much in value, but the ones that aren't going to be created very similar, ones with unique minifigures such as like Christmas Jumper Ray and Christmas Chewbacca and stuff like that. Sets that, you know, generally you're not going to see these characters come back ever, because it's the first time that Lego have ever created, and most of the value does come from the minifigures in the sets I've found. I don't know why that is. Everyone just seems to go crazy over the minifigures. I think it's because like a lot of the bricks, normally you can get them, but minifigures are quite hard to get. And to be fair, myself, like if you've watched the videos, we have just started getting into some of the minifigures, and we started getting the display cases to display them in, which I think is really, really cool, and I am very excited about that. Now, one final thing to say is that this is not a short-term thing. Like, if you invest in Lego, it has got to be over a many period of years. Like I said, I bought some of these sets 2 years ago, and they have not gone up in value much. The thing is, it's like, you don't know if it's going to go up, but at the end of the day, even if they don't go up and I don't decide to sell them, then my kids will have fun with them when I do have kids, or, you know, I'll have fun with it in the future when, you know, everyone's talking about these sets, because, you know, no one does have them. Or if that's the case, then I will sell them there and then. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. Personally, I don't invest massively into it, and I know like quite a few people do, and quite a few people do quite good on it. I'm not the channel to come to for that, because I'm just here on a budget building the Lego city. But even on a budget, you can still invest, because that's exactly what we are doing. And I don't want to like go out there and tell people that you've got to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds, because that's not what I'm trying to say. I literally spend this is over a 2-year period, and I've probably spent £50-60 maybe, because a lot of these sets are promos, and you know, like, I haven't spent that much on it over a 2-year period, but it's all kind of still gathering a bit of money for me. And I know lots of people out there say, why keep it in the box, why not just build it? But like you'll see if you watch the channel, we do build most of the Lego that we get, and I try hide it in a box away so I don't have the kind of devastation of not building it. That is one thing that I do hate. One thing finally I would say, check out promos that are on, because if we can get it out, this was the promo from last year at Christmas. Now, I do have quite a few other promos. Most of them are in the city, and most of them I do build. We do have a few more promos, but I would say this promo came completely free. It was £15 when it first came out. That was the value that Lego assigned to it. Now, because there was quite a few of them, it is now worth £8, but £8 here is something that, you know, generally you wouldn't have had if you didn't go pick them up. So if there's sets you want to go pick up anyway, make sure you go in when there's promos or double VIP points, and you can always pick these up to add to your investment portfolio and stuff like that. But it is really cool and it's fun to do. For me personally though, there isn't a big return on it, but I know some people do make quite a lot of money. But yeah, if it's something you want to do, then I would recommend doing it. And if you enjoy doing it, then 100%. I would start off small though, because that's what I've done. I started off small. I don't put into it that often. I generally enjoy building my Lego, and that's kind of the fun for me. But yeah, if it's something you wanted to do, then I would recommend doing it, because it is quite cool, and I like having the sealed sets. And I know you'll be thinking it's crazy, but it is fun. It's still fun, and we do still build quite a lot of it. I am going to end the video here though, because we have waffled on, and I feel like I generally have waffled on for a lot of this video. I have hundreds of points down here on my laptop, and I feel like I've just waffled through them, so I do apologise. And if any of this did not make sense, then feel free to drop me a message, comment down below, ask me questions, or you can head up to my Instagram, message me on there, and I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you have, or even if you just want to talk, I'm happy to do that as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Goodbye.